Welcome to Krishna Katha Adventure Series, Part 2, The City of Mathura. Here is the place named Mathura, famous in the three worlds. Its pathways are purified by the dust from the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. From the Sura Purana. Story 5. The beginning of the end for Kamsa. The evil King Kamsa had been determined to kill Krishna and had sent many agents, but all had failed. Kamsa had imprisoned the praiseworthy King Ugrasena in the dungeons of Mathura and taken control of the city. Being extremely powerful, Kamsa demanded respect and obedience from all. Many of the kings and noblemen from far and wide bowed before him, but there were those who privately considered, Kamsa demands that we address him as Mahant Rajan, the great king, but honour cannot be stolen from another. In Mathura lived Akrura, an eminent member of the Yadu dynasty, and although he was trusted by Kamsa, he was actually devoted to Krishna. One day, Kamsa summoned Akrura to his court. Upon being called, Akrura walked swiftly along the corridors of the palace, knowing it unwise to keep Kamsa waiting. When he entered the hall, he politely bowed, and Kamsa stepped towards him. This tyrant knew the art of negotiation, and he clasped Akrura's hands in a friendly manner. But Akrura, whose name means he who is not cruel, felt a shiver run through his body at the touch of Kamsa's hands. Kamsa began conversing in a mild voice. "My dear gentle Akrura, amongst all the members of the great Yadu dynasty, there is no one kinder towards us than you. I have arranged for the spectacular bow ceremony called Danu Yajna to be held in Mathura. I have designated a particular arena, and my officers have placed a grand bow there. My best police constables are guarding it. Along with this ceremony, I have arranged for a splendid wrestling match to take place. But please do me one favour. Go to Nanda Maharaj's village in Vrndavan, where his two sons, Krishna and Balarama, are living. Invite Nanda Maharaj and all his villagers to this festival, but in particular, I want you to bring the two boys here without delay." Kamsa took Akrura to the balcony and, pointing to a chariot in the courtyard, said, "Just see, there is a new attractive chariot for your personal use and for you to transport these boys here." Akrura did not trust Kamsa, but he inclined his head and commented, "That is indeed a handsome chariot, and the horses are strong." Kamsa continued confidently, "Now I will reveal to you my plans. These two boys, Krishna and Balarama, are a thorn in my side. When you bring them to Mathura, I will easily dispose of them. I have ordered the war elephant Kuvalia, who is as powerful as death itself, to guard the gates of the sacrificial arena, and upon seeing the two brothers, he is to crush the vital life force from their bodies. However, if for some reason or other he fails, then I have arranged for my strongest wrestlers to challenge and defeat them, while all those simple-minded villagers watch on in horror. when Krishna and Balaram are dead, I will then slay Vasudeva and Devaki and all their lamenting relatives. My father-in-law, Jarasandha, is almost as powerful a king as I am, but he is bound to me by my marriage to his daughter. So, along with him, as well as my dear friends Dvivida, the mighty gorilla king, Bana, one of my greatest allies, we will overthrow all the kings on this planet who are aligned with the demigods. Very soon now, I will rule this entire earth. So, Akrura, when you go to Vrndavan, take my personal invitation to these villages to come here and see the opulence of the Yadu's capital, Mathura, and the great festival that will take place. But you understand my real intentions, don't you? Akrura replied, O King, your strategy is excellently devised to counteract the hindrances to your plans. It is certainly destiny that produces the results of one's work. I have nothing more to say about your proposal. I shall carry out your order and bring Krishna and Balaram here, as you so desire. Kamsa gazed at Akrura for a long moment. Akrura turned and left the hall and began to ponder. Actually, it is ironic that because of Kamsa's fears, I am being given this extraordinary opportunity to go to Vrndavan to see Krishna. Early the next morning, Akrura stepped up into the chariot and commenced his journey. Very soon, though, he became deeply absorbed in meditation upon Krishna and did not notice the road or any of the surrounding forests and fields as the horses drew the chariot onwards. He contemplated, "Oh, I am so fortunate, for soon I may be able to see the lotus feet of Krishna and his beautiful face and his curling black hair." Then Akrura considered, "As soon as I arrive in Vrndavan, I will get down from this chariot and fall flat on the ground, offering my respects. Even though I am on a terrible mission for Kamsa, I shall stand before Krishna and beg for shelter. By his mercy he might embrace me, and surely when I look at Krishna and Balaram, my whole life will become glorious." In this way Akrura passed the day, and as the sun was setting, he arrived at the outskirts of Vrndavan. When he saw on the ground the marks of Krishna's footprints, Akrura jumped down from the chariot. Krishna's footprints were impressed with the signs of the flag, trident, thunderbolt, and lotus flower. As Akrura became overwhelmed with ecstasy, he began to weep. After some time he stepped back into the chariot and entered the village where, with tear-filled eyes, he saw Krishna and Balaram going to milk the cows. These two brothers walked with the gait of young elephants and smiled at everyone they met. Krishna and Balaram were ornamented with jeweled necklaces and flower garlands. Krishna was dressed in yellow garments and Balaram in blue. Akrura now saw them face to face. Without hesitating, Akrura immediately got down from his chariot and fell flat, just like a rod, before Krishna and Balaram. Upon touching the lotus feet of Krishna, Akrura became overwhelmed with transcendental bliss, and his voice choked up. Unable to speak, he remained stunned. Krishna, who is very kind to his devotees, helped Akrura up and embraced him. Then Balaram stepped forward and also embraced Akrura. Taking Akrura by the hand, Krishna led him to their father's house. The two boys offered him a very nice sitting place and water for washing his feet. Akrura was their uncle, and Krishna and Balaram respectfully brought him cooling drinks and palatable foods. When Nanda Maharaj entered the sitting room, he also nicely welcomed Akrura. After inquiring about his health, Nanda said, "How are all of you in Mathura maintaining yourselves while that merciless Kamsa remains alive? You are just like poor animals under the care of a butcher." Akrura nodded his head and responded, "Truly, Kamsa is just like a butcher who protects his beasts while he carries a knife to cut their throats." "Yes," replied King Nanda, "but my dear friend, please stay the night here and let us enjoy each other's company." Later that evening, Krishna came to Akrura's guest room and inquired, "My father has undergone much tribulation from Kamsa simply from my being his son. I think myself so fortunate that you have come as my friend and relative. My dear Uncle Akrura, please tell me the purpose of your coming to Vrndavan." Akrura sat down with Krishna and narrated why he had been deputed by Kamsa under the pretext of an invitation to a ceremony, but the real purpose was to bring the brothers to Mathura to be killed. The bow ceremony is a trap to bring you into his web. When Balaram and Krishna heard all this, they laughed mildly at Kamsa's plans. Balaram assured his uncle, "My brother is very expert in killing opponents." The next morning, Krishna informed his father Nanda Maharaj of Kamsa's invitation, but he did not hint of any danger. Nevertheless, Nanda stated, "Oh, my dear son, we cannot trust such a request." Krishna replied, "Father, we have confidence in Akrura. He would never cause us any discomfort or harm. Therefore, let us all go to Mathura. The people of Vrndavan would love to participate in the ceremony as well as see that great city." Considering Krishna's words, Nanda Maharaj sent out an announcement to all the cowherd men and women. "Collect fresh milk and all kinds of milk products as presentations for the king of Mathura." King Nanda also instructed the chief of police to inform the inhabitants of an invitation to the great Danu Yajna ceremony. "Tell the cowherd men and women we will leave Vrndavan and journey to Mathura tomorrow. Have the bullock carts and all the milk preparations ready." And so began the journey of the folks of Vrndavan to Mathura, where Kamsa was to meet his demise at the hands of the boy Krishna. There are so many wonderful, sweet pastimes involved in this, such as the gopis' feeling of great separation when Krishna and Balaram were taken away from Vrndavan in Akrura's chariot. There was the joy the people of Mathura felt when Krishna and Balaram arrived. Many residents lined the streets and greeted the captivating Vrndavan brothers, offering them fragrant garlands and words of welcome. There was the tailor who adored Krishna and presented all his best silk cloths for the two brothers. And don't forget the humpbacked woman named Kubja, who fell in love with Krishna. Krishna placed his 2 fingers under her chin and slowly straightened her crippled body. Then there was the ceremonious breaking the bows that Kamsa had arranged as a trap to defeat the boys. In the presence of everyone who had followed Krishna into the arena, Krishna quickly picked up the enormous bow in his left hand and, easily pulling back the string, he snapped the bow in half, exactly like an elephant breaks a stalk of sugarcane. The sound of the breaking bow filled the air. Kamsa's chief of police, who had been guarding the bow, became very angry. His eyes reddened and his breathing became rapid as he shouted to his men, "Arrest him! Arrest him! Arrest him! Kill him!" Krishna and Balaram picked up the 2 pieces of the broken bow and began to beat off all the constables. While this turmoil was happening, a troop of Kamsa's soldiers arrived there and also began attacking the 2 young boys. But with complete ease, Krishna and Balaram killed them all. When this news reached the ears of Kamsa, he was extremely angry. And this leads into story 6 of the Krishna Katha Adventure series. Namaste.